Thanks for joining for another episode, everyone. Well, I gotta get the Jeep fixed, so I was bringing it over to Brink Fab. And man, you know, I didn't realize how cool of a shop this was. So ended up talking with Eric over there at Brink Fab and kind of did a little bit of an interview. I really hope you guys enjoy this. How's it going, everyone? Here with Brink Fab. We are here to check out the shop. Eric, if you want to kind of show us around, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure. We'll do a quick shop tour kind of to start. Check out you know, what we have going on in the shop today. We're late in the day on a Friday, so we've shuffled a few things in and out. Some of our workers are going to work on their stuff over the weekend, so it's in here too, but it's all good. So yeah, let's just get started. We'll I don't know, dive right in. We're kind of well known within Canada for our tube chassis designs, specifically Ultra 4, desert racing, rock racing, stuff like that. This is one that's going to be ready for a customer in another couple of weeks as a roller. So a roller will involve drivetrain is all mounted, all the 4-link suspension is done, the shocks are all mounted, things like that. This one's getting a 5-liter Coyote motor out of a Mustang, which is new to us. We usually work with LS platform, but it's super exciting to do new things anyway, so we're excited about that for sure.
What kind of power does that put out roughly?
I think stock form is right around 400 horsepower.
Yep.
Fuel system in the Coyote's pretty darn decent though, so they're able to support a lot more. We could turn that up to a $700 or $800 horsepower number, kind of in a big hurry for sure.
Well, that would be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then we got stuff like this. This is an Ultra 4 car. This is one of our friends from Lower Mainland, BC, actually. Matt Neiman owns this car. This car was built in California, but it was built 8 or 9 years ago, and it was just in a time when maybe Ultra 4 racing wasn't as hard, as aggressive, as absolutely brutal as what it is now. So Matt's been having a lot of problems with breakage. So literally we cut this car off like right at the firewall, and everything in front of it is our in-house design. So all the independent front suspension, A-arms, uprights, bulkheads, shock mounts, all of that is brand new, and it's going to work way better for him. He's going to have way less problems breaking parts and finish way more races, and if you finish way more races, you win way more races.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there's stuff like that. Today, myself, I was working on these trailing arms. This is going to be going on a Desert Pre-Runner truck. Something like this, we'll do a 3-inch bypass shock in the back with a 2 or 2.5 inch coilover in the front. And he'll get somewhere around 30 inches of wheel travel in the back of that truck after he's done with this. That truck will come into the shop next week.
Beautiful.
And then in the back is all the tools that make it all go around. We got like CNC plasma in-house, laser is something that we outsource, but there's brakes and presses and lathe and things like that.
Nice.
And this one's been an ongoing project for almost a year now. Basically 1950 Willy's Jeep-based idea. Customer came in like totally out of the blue, never met the guy before, and he's like, man, I want to build a custom from scratch brand new 1950 Jeep Willys. And I'm like, cool, let's do that. So we started ordering parts, and this is kind of what we came up with. We talked to the guys at Aqualoo Industries in Kelowna, who were awesome to deal with, and they built us this aluminum tub, which they stretched to like my dimensions of 2 feet longer in several areas, so that like real people can fit in it, because a typical CJ2A or CJ3 from back in the day, it's just too darn small. You just can't fit in it comfortably. And Nathan, the fellow that owns this thing, is a big guy, so we wanted him to be comfortable. So they did that, shipped it out to us, and at that point we started taking over. We built a custom tube chassis underneath it, all the roll cage work, obviously shock mounts. It's got a hot cammed LS3, so he's 525 horsepower, NV4500 transmission, and Atlas, PRP seats, Seabear radiator, a whole bunch of really cool go fast race car type parts in just like what's going to be an awesome trail rig in the end.
That's awesome.
We took a Kingpin Dana, or a ball joint Dana 60, narrowed it 6 inches for the front so that it fits the Willys tub better. And then we took a Dana 70 and put ball joint knuckles on it to make it a steering 70 in the back, and built it the same width so that it all fits and works together. So this thing's literally going to turn on its own wheelbase. So you could just drive in a little tiny circle, no problem at all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be fun, right?
That's a nice setup.
And then yeah, over here, you know, is more our mechanical side. As it is right now, we're busy with fab work, so there's just not a lot going on. But this is my own car. This is the 312 Brink Fab Motorsports 4800 class. So what 4800 class is, for anybody that doesn't know, it's an Ultra 4 racing class. Most of you probably are aware of what Ultra 4 is. And what makes it a 4800 is some limitations. So 37-inch maximum tire size, 2 seats side by side, has to be front engine, and we can only run 1 shock per corner. The 312 car, this exact car, has been actually great, really successful. We brought this one in, I think it was 4 seasons ago, and we've been winning and placing well at a bunch of races. So, you know, kind of all over Western Canada, we got a whole bunch of wins and trophies out in the trophy case from that, but also down in the States, which is kind of where we actually measure our success in the end. When you, you know, swim with the biggest fishes, that tells you kind of where you're actually at. And we won the Fallon 250. We've been second at the national championship race 2 years in a row. This year, with all of the, you know, upheaval in the world, we're not going to make King of the Hammers, but that's usually our big event of the year, and that's coming up pretty soon. So, you know, we'll be here watching it and wishing that we were there, but that's kind of the best we can do, probably.
So how have you been with King of the Hammers so far? Like,
you know what?
Pretty hard competition.
King of the Hammers, like, we should do really well.
Yeah.
You know, we should, because we have great guys on our team, and most of our team has been with me since the beginning. We've been doing this for about 10 years now, so they're dialed. They understand the program, they know what's going on, and I'm big on like lists and checklists and spreadsheets, and like, we're really well organized. But for some reason, like, man, I tell you, KOH has our ticket. Like, every year it kicks our butt. And we're progressing and making changes to the program to hopefully get around that. We've had some issues in the past where we pre-run too much and hurt the car, or we're like shock tuning right before the race and we hurt the car, and things like that. So now we've actually started that we'll make a totally separate trip to Johnson Valley, California in like November, December, do all our pre-running, all our shock tuning, all our testing, and all we do is kind of rock star in and race. And that was our plan this year again. If not for, you know, COVID-19 and the borders are all closed, we literally can't go down anymore to do this. So, you know, KOH, that's the one that eludes me, you know, and yeah. It's on our hit list though. Like, we are going to be there. Our best finish at KOH is 9th. We're super proud of that. You know, a top 10 finish out of a crowd of 190-ish entries probably in the EMC classes is something to be proud of. Like, just finishing that race is something to be proud of. It's that darn hard, you know.
King of the Hammers, in case some of you don't know, definitely a hard race. There's a lot of carnage that goes on, and in fact, I think some of that carnage is kind of what helped you build your name a little bit.
Actually, it's true. You know, we'll see if we can dig up some video footage maybe.
Yeah.
If not, we can definitely get out front. There's some pictures and stuff.
Sweet.
But yeah, one year, 2014-ish probably. It was in the old car. We used to have a maroon, or not a maroon, like a burnt orange colored 4400 car that we also built here in-house. But we were out the day before the race, and everyone calls it a shock tuning crash. But truthfully, we were doing a photo shoot is what it was. One of the magazine guys was going to take some photos and do some publicity stuff. But I come booking it around a little corner in the bumps and just like clipped a bush funny. And the car just like jumped sideways and instantly was just tumble. And we went over, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in this barrel roll. And I would land on my side and I pop out. I'm like, I'm okay, sorry guys. And I just felt like such a jerk. Like, it was one of those like they tell you it's gonna be slow motion. Like, it's just going over, and I'm so aware, and all I can think of the whole time is how I've let down my whole team. Like, I got 12 or 15 friends down that are all here because they're gonna support me in this, and the day before the race, I'm gonna just throw it away, you know, in this crash. So we crash the car and flip it back over and start towing it back to our pit tent so that we can get an assessment and fix it and this and that. And there's 2 customers, you know, Ryan Stamba and Sean Holland are there just to check it out, you know, and they're thinking they want to build a car, but they're not sure. They're just checking it out, and we weren't back to the tent yet, and they were both like 100% in. Like, now, yes, we're definitely building a car. That crash was awesome, you know? So I guess that crash paid off in the end. I'm sure that, you know, my guys on my team would just as soon not have to work all night long to get it ready to go racing again, but that is what it is. And lucky for me, I got such good guys that were able to pull that off, and we made the start line the next morning, like no problem at all.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Made the start line the next morning. How many hours?
They would have worked, the crash would have been 12 or 14 hours before the start of the race, and they would have worked like 10 or 12 hours in order to get the car ready. I actually took off and went back to town. I mean, if I stayed and worked, I'd have been too exhausted to drive the car the next day. So we had a big team meeting, made a list. This is what we need to get done. This is what's broken. Here's who should do what. And I'm out of here. And like they rocked it, man. They were just perfect about it.
Now that's a team.
Absolutely. And you know, actually, you know, while we're on subject of crashes, this car has been in an even worse crash than that one. 2-3 years ago, this time we actually were shock tuning the car. This is 1 week before the race. And we hit just this little kind of kicker ledge funny, and I'm like, man, that didn't feel very good. I'm gonna try that just a little bit faster, because sometimes faster is smoother, right? So we circle back, and I don't know what I was thinking, because I hit it like way faster. So we didn't like it at like 30 miles an hour, and somehow I hit it at like 80 miles an hour. And we stood the car up right on its nose for like 150 meters, and then finally the front bumper kind of dug into the dirt, and that time we went over 10-12 times.
Oh, wow.
And it was the worst crash that I've ever been in. My co-driver Dana was just ragdolled in the car, just flailing around. I mean, it's a testament to the chassis, to the safety gear. We were both totally fine, yet we broke the front housing in half, we broke the rear housing in half, we broke both rear upper links, we took out 2 shocks, every brake line in the car was gone, the main shaft in the transmission broke. All catastrophic, like absolutely catastrophic damage. 2 days later, the car was beat back into shape. We fixed it all in the middle of the desert off of a generator out of my trailer, and we raced that Hammers too.
2 days. 2 days. What a crew.
What a crew.
What
exactly.
a crew.
What a crew.
Absolutely. So this car has definitely been used.
Absolutely, you know, and ready for more. Ready for more. It is literally one of the fastest cars out there. You know, it should be though. We've put in the time. We're on the cutting edge of stuff like suspension and shock technology. We're doing things with the inside of the Fox shocks that Fox doesn't do. So like they're not even stock internally, and I'm not just talking like, oh, valving change, something like that. No, these are re-engineered to do things that don't normally do out of the box. You know, we had a supercharged LS3, we make like 825 horsepower. We carry 55 gallons of fuel on the car at the start of the race, so that we don't have to stop in pits. You know, if it doesn't come down to driver error, we're pretty good shape usually. But the nut behind the wheel lets us down once in a while.
So that shock tuning gets you every time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then, cool. You know, from that car, we do a lot of stuff like this truck too in the shop. You know, really cool desert pre-runner truck. 35-inch tires, long travel front suspension, long travel rear suspension, another supercharged LS3. This guy's making over 900 horse.
Oh, wow.
You know, bed cage, spare tire mounts. It's a super fun truck for sure. And then unfortunately, I don't have any Jeep stuff in the shop today. We have 2 Jeep projects on the go. YJ that's getting 4-link coilovers, LS, hydro assist steering, going to be a great project. And then actually we're building a JK for the shop, going to be going to be a 4-door JK. I'd like to get the team out on the race course more, so I'm building a 4-door JK that we can take pre-running as a team. And that's going to be really cool for my guys, but it's getting an LS, 4L80, Atlas, or a 203, 205 doubler, we're not sure yet. 1-ton diffs, coilovers, bypass shocks, long travel rear suspension. Kind of like ready to race, but mostly just go have fun, man.
I gotta love going and having fun. By the way, Chris, I know your YJ's here.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it, buddy. That's the car that started it all, the original race car. And it's sitting right in the showroom here at Brink Fab.
lots of good memories in that. You know, we spent many seasons in it. That's the one that did finish 9th. And you know, we get guys in once in a while wondering about buying it, and man, it's worth more to me to see it here, and we'll build the next guy a new one instead. So it's a great, you know, nostalgia piece for the shop.
Absolutely. So not only does Brink Fab do race car stuff, but they do Jeep stuff. They're really cool Jeep stuff.
We do, you know, and that's something that kind of got lost along the way maybe by some people, but we built the business doing 4-link suspension in TJs, roll cages in TJs, you know, just pounding them out, and, you know, suspensions that worked better than anything out of the box, and cages that were not just gonna, like, okay, they'll save you if you lay it over. It's like, well, no, let's just put it back on its wheels and go again. Like, you are gonna be okay type of stuff, and we still do all of that. As it happens right now, all the Jeep projects that we have on the go are out back, you know, waiting on parts and waiting on budget, et cetera, so that we can bring them back in the shop and finish them for the customers. So unfortunately, I don't have those to kind of tour you through, but you know, we'll get you back next time they're in the shop. Maybe we'll do a follow-up or something like that. But certainly, you know, somebody comes in, wants, you know, bumper or short arms or long arms or cage or whatever, that's right up our alley. We do tons of that still.
Awesome. I definitely want to check up on some of the Jeep stuff that's going on. I'll see if I can get some photos of some of the stuff in the back, but I'll come back and kind of highlight it a little bit more in the future.
I mean, you know, otherwise we've kind of moved out of the shop area, kind of into the showroom area. So this kind of, you know, the welcome to anybody that walks in. You know, the cool stuff is in the back. So like we build stuff and it's based on our labor, how cool it is and things like that. So the showroom's small, but it is what it is. We got, you know, the old car, a bunch of off-road DVDs that people like, and then just some random parts that we know everyone needs in kind of the circles we travel in. You know, good selection of AN fittings and hoses and things like that. And then from there, you know, kind of into the back part of the showroom, we got actually our pit Jeep. We take it to races to cruise around at the pits in. We got another chassis. That one's available for sale. We'd probably make someone a good deal on it. We do lots of fiberglass fenders for, you know, Dodge, Chevy, Ford trucks, Toyota, kind of whatever. Coilover shocks, coilover springs, lots of builder parts, tabs, brackets, laser cutting, tube inserts, heim joints, things like that. And then, yeah, lots of safety gear, limit straps, race suits, helmets, kind of that type of stuff anyway.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.